Every day, millions of people water their plants, clean the soil, and try to do everything right. And slowly, those plants begin to die. Now look at this. No one waters it. No one cleans it. No one takes care of it at all. And yet, it thrives. So what if the problem isn't your effort, but everything you've been taught about plants? If you've ever believed that healthy plants require daily watering, frequent soil turning, and a perfectly clean garden, then there's a real possibility you've been doing the wrong things for years without even realizing it. It sounds uncomfortable, almost wrong to accept, because these habits feel responsible. They feel like care. They feel like control. But in reality, many of these basic rules are quietly working against the natural system that plants depend on. In nature, no one waters plants every day. No one turns the soil. No one removes every fallen leaf. And yet, plants grow stronger, deeper, and more resilient than most of the ones we try so carefully to manage at home. So the issue isn't that you're not doing enough. It's that you might be doing too much. Take watering, for example, the most common and most misunderstood part of plant care. People water their plants every day because it feels consistent, safe, responsible. But roots don't just need water. They need oxygen. And that oxygen lives in the tiny air pockets within the soil. When the soil stays constantly wet, those air pockets disappear. The roots can no longer breathe. They begin to suffocate, slowly, invisibly. And that's when the real damage begins. What makes this dangerous is how easy it is to misread. Imagine a plant with yellowing leaves, slightly soft, maybe drooping a little. Most people immediately assume it needs more water, so they water again and again. But the plant gets worse. The soil is already wet. The pot feels heavy. Growth has slowed or stopped entirely. This isn't thirst. This is suffocation. And the correct action in that moment is not to do more, but to stop. This is the shift that changes everything, moving from reacting to observing. Instead of responding instantly to what you see, you pause. You check the soil. You feel its moisture. You look at the leaves, not just their color, but their texture. You observe whether the plant is still growing, even slightly. If the soil is still moist, you do nothing. If the plant is stable, you do nothing. If there is no clear sign of decline, you wait. Because not every signal is a problem, and not every problem needs immediate action. The same misunderstanding applies to soil. Many people try to keep it clean, removing fallen leaves, debris, anything that looks messy. It makes the garden look neat, controlled, almost perfect. But in nature, that layer of fallen material is not waste. It's protection. It holds moisture in the soil. It feeds microorganisms. It slowly breaks down into nutrients that plants can reuse. When you remove it all, the soil becomes exposed. It dries faster. It loses life. It becomes weaker over time. A garden that looks clean is often a garden that is struggling underneath. Then there's the habit of turning the soil. It feels productive. It feels like you're improving it. But beneath the surface, there's an entire ecosystem at work. Microorganisms, fungi, and tiny organisms forming a structure that supports plant life. Every time you disturb it, you break that structure. You interrupt the system that was already working. Over time, instead of becoming healthier, the soil becomes more fragile, more dependent, less alive. Healthy soil is not something you force into existence. It's something you allow to develop. Now consider another situation. A plant hasn't grown for weeks. It doesn't look sick. It's not dying, but it's not thriving either. It's just still. Most people react quickly. They change its position. They add fertilizer. They water more. They try something, anything, to fix it. But what if nothing is actually wrong? Plants, like all living systems, need time to adjust. A change in light, temperature, or environment can pause visible growth while internal processes catch up. In that moment, the plant isn't failing, it's adapting. And the correct response isn't intervention, it's stability. You leave it where it is. You maintain the environment. You allow time to do its work. This leads to a simple but powerful way of thinking, a decision framework you can use every time you're unsure. Before you act, ask yourself 3 questions. Is this a real problem or just a temporary reaction? Is the environment stable? Is the plant still showing any sign of life or growth? If there's no clear evidence of a problem, you don't act. If there is, you act slowly, precisely, minimally. Because the goal is not to control the plant, but to support the conditions it needs. And this brings us to the bigger truth. Plants have survived for millions of years without human intervention. They already know how to grow, how to adapt, how to find balance within their environment. The problem is not their weakness, it's our need to interfere. We water too often, we clean too much, we adjust too quickly. We try to fix things that aren't broken. Your role is not to force growth. Your role is to remove obstacles. So if your plants are struggling, if they're weak, slow, or declining, you may not need to do more. You may simply need to stop. Stop watering out of habit. Stop cleaning everything away. Stop disturbing what you don't fully understand. And for the first time, let the plant grow the way it was always designed to.